Mujib Shah. Mujib Shah is grandchild son of Saint James Sayer. Saint James Sayer, the founder of the modern Sindhi nationalism, and he was lifelong chairman of our Sindhi Congress. And so we got Mujib Shah, he's a student, and he's doing a master's in business administration in the Institute of Business Sciences, Budapest, in Europe. So he will share his ideas, please.
Thank you very much. Honestly, I was expecting to come here in the capacity of a student on the other side of this podium. However, to paraphrase Karl Marx, there is a spectre haunting Sindh. I call it a spectre because, like a spectre, it hides in the shadows. We're not sure who or what it is, but we keep making our guesses, but we're not sure. But unlike a spectre, it is definitely harming us. Student politics in Pakistan has been influential in each and every decade of Pakistan's history. And this goes back to even before the creation of it. The Pakistan movement was primarily launched from Aligarh University by the students of the university, going door to door, society to society, neighborhoods to neighborhoods, propagating the idea of independence and of freedom. However, under General Ayub's regime in 1958, student politics and student unions were banned. This was owing to the increasing pro-democracy and leftist leanings of popular student organizations. There was a partial lift of this ban in 1960 to allow for more conservative outlets to emerge in student politics to counteract the influence of more anti-government student bodies. Through the 1974 Students' Ordinance, student unions were fully encouraged and allowed to prosper. However, again, in 1984, they were seen to have become agitated, hence were banned. And to this date, student organizations and societies politically inclined are banned in our country, to the extent that when I was signing up for my university, when I first enrolled in a semi-public university in Karachi, I was made to sign a declaration that I will not participate in any political protests. I will not participate in any form of student union activities. And when General Musharraf came to address our law class, I had to sit through it and not complain. That being said, I'm neither a historian nor am I an expert on national media policy. However, I do trust my sensory systems. In fact, let's not go to history at all. Let's look back at just a few months ago, or just a year. So let's talk about the protest against registration of alien Afghans and Bhutanese and Bengalis residing in Karachi. Now, as per law, they were supposed to be given alien registration cards, and they had to prove to the state that they are peaceful citizens, and which is what will earn them citizenship. However, according to some, just before the elections, the Sindh government decided that they are going to give each and every one of them citizenships and essentially make a minority of Sindhis in a city that we founded. Or the protest on the issue of missing individuals. This was back in May, just during Ramzan, where they would rather show game shows on television instead of women and children sitting outside the press club in Karachi, protesting the state's ineffectiveness in locating their missing brothers and husbands and sons. Or let's talk about the elections, where a 12-point rule was rules were taken out, where you were not allowed to speak against the constitution, or the army, or the judiciary. And if we didn't have a problem with these institutions, why would we contest in the first place? the ruling party in Sindh, I'm not going to take names, but one of the candidates, just an hour into counting, had 120,000 votes, while the opposing candidate had only 20. This steadily rised over the course of the day. However, it defies all logic. I mean, if they wanted to hold these elections, then like, why call them elections? Just call it a selection. Stop putting us through these shams. Stop making us waste all our money. The threat of Article 6 on the dam issue, the popular saying we have in Pakistan ke ye mat socho कि तुम्हारे मुल्क ने तुम्हारे लिए क्या किया, ये सोचो तुमने अपने मुल्क के लिए क्या किया है. Well, I'll tell you what we've done. We've suffered through jails. My great-grandfather, after the creation of the country he helped create, he lived for another 48 years, a majority of the time which he spent under house arrest or in jails or incarcerated behind military prison bars. We've seen boys as young as 21 shot down in front of our eyes during protests, and not a single word being said on the media about the protest or the death of those boys. We sacrificed the wealth and health of generations of each and every one of our families, yet we are treated as second-class citizens in a country that we helped create. However, we are now in free countries. I'm addressing this room, and whoever sees the speeches given here. I plead with the students, the residents, the expatriates who work and live in the West to voice their concerns in forums that exist here in London or in Belgium or DC or wherever you may be it in the form of student societies or think tanks, in parliaments, congresses, conferences, whatever. We matter. What we're saying matters. And we refuse to see our sisters and our brethren in our countries be treated as second-class citizens anymore. Does each and every Sindhi woman living in Pakistan have to bear 11 children each so that we could become a majority and suddenly matter to the government? How much more taxation, how many more bribes, how many more lives must we lay down just to have our basic human rights? It's an open-ended question. I mean, if anyone can give me an answer, I'd be happy to put my life on the line another 10,000 times. However, since I don't know that, I am so glad that I joined this conference and am participating in it in the form of not just an observer, but also as a participant, as a speaker. And I plead to each and every one of you to keep doing the good work, show up, and speak. Mehban, Jesus.